The Pavilion Theater in Glasgow is one of the very last bastions of variety theatre in the UK.
This is a beautiful theatre. It is ideal for a comedian.
People feel it's their theatre, and the artists too, you know. It's a friendly atmosphere, and acoustically it's magnificent.
I think you can sum the Pavilion up in one word: entertainment.
We follow the making of the latest Pavilion Panto, The Wizard of Never Was, which has a distinct Glasgow theme.
Instead of Dorothy coming from Kansas, she comes from Govan.
Is this your favourite bit of the job?
I prefer locking up.
Some days it's great, it's good fun, it's variety. No 2 days are the same.
Morning, ladies. Morning, guys.
I think we give the people of Glasgow what they want and not what they need. Some of the other venues round about tend to give them what they think they need. But we like to give them what we think they want.
It's the man in the street that keeps us going, nothing else. We put on product, people come and see it, and at that we're successful.
Yeah.
We don't have great demarcation in here. Everybody here. I've got my 2 boys. One takes care of the technical side. One's an accountant.
I do kind of other stuff as well, front of house, IT, computers, that kind of stuff. Predominantly accounts. In financial, they have to come to me to sign off on, so.
And we both turned 16. We get told, you're going to work, by the way, and that's it. We've both been here since.
It's a good climb up here. We've always been asked, can you put a lift in? Basically, as a listed building, we can't. This is one of our royal boxes. This is the biggest one that we have. As you can see, the viewing's not the best, but if you're wanting to show off, this is where you come. It's more so everybody in the theatre, as you can see you, as opposed to you seeing what you're actually coming to see.
Since the Pavilion opened its doors in 1904, it's been unashamedly a variety theatre.
Hey, Coleman! You go and tell your boss I'm Dorothy Paul's mother and I'm mad.
There's a story about, before my time, of course, that the men when they used to come off the yards, the shifts in the yards, they always had a bag of rivets. And if they came to the theatre, if they didn't like the turn that was on, they threw rivets at them. I'm glad to say I have never had any thrown at me.
When you walk onto the stage, you're standing on the spot where so many great comedians have already been, already softened your audience up for you. They're attuned to variety, they're attuned to comedians. The great Lex McLean, who practically made this theatre his very own, Francia Josie, all the great comedians, all lived here at the Pavilion, so it's a great tradition.
How tickled to be here in Scotland, lady. What about you, sir? Have you ever been tickled in the trossets?
You deliver a line and you hopefully get a laugh. That laughter's right on top of you. Actually, you can actually feel it hit your face, the warmth of it. It's like a blow dryer. And that's incredibly exciting to a comic.
How's Sharon?
She's grand. She's trying to lose a few pounds for our holidays.
Oh, God, that's not easy for her. She has an overactive
thyroid.
Knife and fork. I think you can sum the Pavilion up in one word: entertainment. Entertainment, that's what it's about. The horrible E word, actually, that a lot of theatres don't like that word. And the Pavilion is pure and absolute entertainment.
Tell me now, don't make me mind you.
There's not many places of entertainment left for what I call the ordinary working people. At one time, there used to be something like 18 theatres in Glasgow. When I first started as a boy. And now there's only one variety theatre left in Scotland, and that's in here.
I'm sitting here now and I'm being impressed all over again with the theatre. They just don't build them anymore, do they? They build theatres, but they're big square boxes.
I'll cling to a dream from
This theatre is one of the best I've ever performed in. Acoustically, for beauty, for the audiences.
Entertainment-wise, the Pavilion audience are very well educated. And if it's a piece of piss, they'll let you know.
The Pavilion has stayed true to its audience in providing genuine variety theatre in Glasgow, with Panto being a regular part of that. Tickets for the Panto went on sale back in February, and it's clearly a popular show.
The Wizard of Oz.
It's probably one of my favourites to do, because it's kept in the Wizard of Oz, but we call it the Wizard of Never Was, so we can make it from Glasgow.
On the M8, it's heading eastbound, traffic slow moving at junction 22 Plantation. Clyde 1 Jambusters, the number is 0845 900 1025. And that's the latest from 102.5 Clyde 1. I've never been in a pantomime before. This will be my first panto. I've been in a lot of musical theatre. This will be my first panto. I'll be Dorothy in The Wizard and Never Was at the Pavilion. I'm actually really terrified.
He's a big, gentle soul, you know, a bit like myself, you know. And he's nervous, like myself, once you see the costume. It's a beautiful costume, you know, and it looks fantastic. And I feel like a lion, you know, I feel like a lion.
Well, playing the Tin Man, panto-wise, I usually play the stupid character because it's not a long journey for me. I'm horrendously nervous. I'm a nervous person. Sometimes I wonder why I do it.
My part in the panto this year is Straw Suit Bob, as opposed to Shell Suit Bob that I played in River City. It's basically just a scarecrow, and it's the second time I've played the scarecrow, so I'm quite familiar with the role, but looking forward to it. When I shoot a scene here in River City, I don't know if it's good until it goes out and you see it, but they're, especially with a Pavilion audience, they're a unique audience. You know if you're doing a good job and having a good night. They'll let you know if you're good or not so good.
This is my very, very first year in Panto, my Panto debut at the Pavilion this year, and I am playing the good witch, Glinda. I think by the time opening night comes around, I think I'll just be so nervous that it's going to go okay. I think I'll be looking forward to the curtain coming down and it's all over.
The Pavilion first put on this panto 4 years ago. The scenery was then stockpiled in their prop store along with decades of others.
I never throw anything out because I always think, oh, we'll use that the next time. In terms of the scenery, we're making a lot new, but we're using some from before, from Wizard of Never Was, and refurbishing it. And plan today is working in the waterfall. Robbie's working in the haunted village. These two don't look as if they're doing anything. They're being a bit lazy. I think they're just here for the camera.
Well, I've got the fun job. I get to play with toys all day. But mostly I kind of source unusual props for the production, you know, as well as create illusions. I've got like an effect where the scarecrow gets crushed and then stretched so that the next scene is about 7 foot tall.
The idea of the waterfall is actually to project the image of the wizard onto the waterfall. Sounds good. Whether it'll work or not is a different thing. You just create a world of magic in here, you know. It's this thing here's the fairy comes out. That's it. Christmas.
It's magic! Allegedly.
2 coats of UV.
Aye, 2 coats, aye. Did you get a good stir?
Aye.
Up for the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, 2 stir.
Hello. I'll phone Alan and see what he says. Okay, all right, bye. We do everything in-house. A lot of people farm things out to this one and they don't get the feel of it. I think we keep the ticket sales in-house, we do all the promotion and we do all the building of the scenery and costumes. So you're in control of it all. So do the green outline and let's get this all done because you're spilling it everywhere.
As well as planning all the magic this year, Krista Rosa is also performing on stage.
This will be my 5th panto at the Pavilion, so I'm really, as always, looking forward to that as well. And I get to be a villain, which is probably the best, you know.
I play this character called Igor, who is one of the witch's sidekicks.
The role I'm playing in Panto this year is the Wicked Witch of the West.
It's kind of done like she makes the balls, but I fire them, quite literally, because I'll be throwing fireballs at the cast, which is quite good fun, because you never know where they're going to land.
Perhaps she's going to be a bit less scary than she was the last time and made a bit of a daft witch.
Wicked Witch has got two henchmen called Dumb and Dumber.
I know I am either dumb or dumber.
And I'm dumber. I'm not sure why the reason I got the dumber part, but every character I play is daft, dumb, big glaikit, stupid-looking guy, so I don't know what he's trying to tell me.
They don't generate much personality apart from stupidity, usually. And I think I've no worries about creating that on stage.
In previous years, the Pavilion has held open auditions to find young dancers to perform in the Panto. This year, Ian has taken a more direct approach.
They're all better than the usual couple of hundred that we're getting, you know. They're all dancing the same way, they're all being taught the same way, so it makes it easy.
All these dancers are students of the choreographer Robert Hamilton.
Robert's dancers are completely different. He's really hard on them. I thought I was hard with people, but he really has a go at them, but he gets the best out of them. I would worry about that big boy. I don't like him. What age is he anyway? 16. Unless we have a big boy in each group, you're going to be stuck with a costume that's meant for a girl. That's all I would worry about with him.
I think he's brilliant.
He is good, but it's just a costume. I mean, the boy can dance, there's no doubt about it.
With Ian's decision made, it's down to Lindsay, one of the choreographers, to break the bad news.
Do you think that's right, putting all the ugly ones in the same group? Which group was that I was talking about then, eh? Only kidding. I think this year you'll see flips and things that you don't normally see in Panto. And I think the Wizard of Oz or the Wizard of Never Was, we need that kind of difference in the dance. People love dance now because they see it so much in the telly, you know, and bringing it live to the theatre is great, you know.
Unlike most theatre managers, Ian makes it his business to get involved in almost every aspect of putting on a show.
He paints the sets. He builds the sets.
He's lighting the pantomime.
He writes. He directs.
He's doing the publicity.
And he's always got new ideas. Try that, do that differently. Right, we want to change this wee bit. Put in this line here and there. His mind never stops.
His hands in everything, so it is from backstage to the front of house to the box office. I mean, he controls everywhere, so he does.
Very often, and this is not an exaggeration, you go down and I'll say, where's he? And he says, he's in the toilet. Oh, I'll wait for him. No, he's cleaning it. And he's down there and he's God, he didn't do it properly.
Back at the prop store, Ian and his team take a delivery of wood. But it's up to them to unload the lorry, as the driver's not allowed to help them.
Says he's not allowed to touch it. Arse. On about the company won't insure him.
Aye, you heard it. Allergic to wood. Aye, carrying it. Next time you see this, it'll be the yellow brick road. Watch this space. When you think things in here start off like that, and that's how it goes out. When you see that on the stage and you see a whole, set of it together, it's a world of magic in here. Coming through here is the Aladdin's Cave of costumes. You can get anything in here, all sizes, all shapes, dating back to probably early 20s, right through until Panto costumes. I throw nothing out. And in there is a room full of animal costumes up the top, all different giraffes, just stacked full of costumes. And going through into this room here, and this is more period costumes. It's great to be able to come in here and say, well, we've got costumes like that,
Is it easy to find the one you want?
No, never.
One of the few things the Pavilion doesn't do in-house is the design and manufacture of the costumes for the Panto. That job falls to Ian's long-term collaborator, Anthony Johns, now based in the midst of Blackpool's Pleasure Beach.
A crazy place to have an office, right in the middle of the hub of the park, of a roller coaster, is where the wardrobe department is. Fantastic. We're changing all the dancers' costumes because they're going to do them as the Munch Bunch, sort of a more street cred. Sorry, the phone's ringing as ever. Hello? I'm changing all the dancers' costumes because they're going to do it more like a diversity-type group. I'm working on designs for that to go with these so we can interact them all together. We're going to start refurbing the Tin Man, which is a fantastic costume, but when it's all done, repainted, reglossed and everything, it'll look brand new. So that's what the girls are working on now. So this is all the fabric, so it's tons and tons of it, and this is where you get inspired to do all the costumes that you're doing. I've got Michelle McManus's costumes to do. I've already started on it, and now I've got to do version 2, because there was a slight problem. That's showbiz.
The development of my costume has been a bit of a drama, actually, because initially I was put into a trouser suit.
Ian wanted her to be a modern fairy, but Michelle is of a voluptuous size.
Michelle's like me, she's a big girl.
So as you can tell, I'm not a natural athlete.
Well, I'm not a girl, but, you know, she's big.
I thought flared trousers, loose top in the middle, belt in. So I did the trousers, but because I didn't fit her. So you get those awful measurement sheets where people might fib a little bit. It didn't look good on her.
I just looked awful in it, and I had to go back and speak to Ian, who was lovely. And I said, you know, Ian, I'm the fairy godmother. Can we put me in a ball gown? Can we put me in a dress?
And I thought, well, I'll alter it, we'll add bits in. No, we'll make it a new one.
I'm now going to make, I've just bought the fabric, I'm going to draw the drawing in a minute, of a dress. So this will take up to 15 metres of fabric just for the dress, and then I had to, because I wanted it sparkly, another 15 metres, that's 30 metres of fabric she's wearing. I don't think Ian's going to like the bill for this one. It'll be this colour with that over the top. So she's going to sparkle and be a pretty fairy. So I'll do big sleeves and make that zigzag there for the jacket over the top. That breaks it up a little bit. And then I'll do an empire line there. Then she's got a quirky top hat with the wings on the back and a rainbow. This is Michelle's hat that we're creating at the moment, and to make it a bit more modern, and then we're going to put fairy lights around the edge so it lights up as well, and then she'll have a wand that lights up. Oh, Joe, did I tell you about a wand? No, right, OK. So I was trying to make her look more modern than her, because otherwise she'll just look like a ginormous puffball. So trying to slim her down as much as I... Well, she will, can't help it. She's a big girl, bless her.
I remember, I think I was about 4 or 5 in my first panto, and it was my mum and my gran and my aunties.
Panto is, in many people's case, the only time they will ever go into a theatre.
My mum said that my eyes were like saucers. I'd never seen anything like it.
Obviously, it's mostly kids that come to see it, so you just feed off their energy because they're totally hyper. Glasgow kids with all the E-numbers and sweeties and Diet Iron Brews and Cokes and all that, and it's just hyper. It's just all the kids are hyper, so we feed off that as well.
The jaw was to the ground and I couldn't understand what was happening. It was just all the colour and the magic and it is behind you, this baddie's coming behind you, why can't you see that he's coming up?
They want to enjoy themselves. They want to trust you. They want you to take them by the hand and perform a fairy story that maybe they remember from their childhood or some children are experiencing for the first time.
One of the most exciting things, I think, in your childhood, and it's something, weirdly, probably one of my very first memories, is going to a pantomime.
This is where we fly all the scenery onto the stage and off the stage. Bar going out. OK. Yeah, we put a bit of tape around the rope so we know when to stop. When whatever it is we're flying, it's at the position we want it at, like, you know, and we just stop at the top of the break, yeah. And that's you. We're just emptying the bars, like, you know, so we can get some room for the pantomime cloths.
There's probably about 8 full cloths, because they've been lying in the workshop for a few years. The folds and that get stuck in them, so they just need time to stretch out again. This is probably the job it takes the longest, you know, when we're bringing the rest of the set in, so getting out of the way sooner rather than later is better. These don't look anything special just now. It's not until you light them they start to take shape. These eyes are all great. These all light up UV. This is the one for the haunted forest, so it needs to look evil at times, but also be friendly at other times. Aye, we've got sort of the back cloths up and the mid-stage cloths up, if you know what I mean. So we've now got the front ones now, but you can decide what you need.
All right, see you later. Right. A normal cloth in the old days would take you to anything from 4 to 6 weeks to paint. It would take about £6,000 to time you took the time and the people working on it. You can actually turn a cloth around now, do the line drawing in a day, do the colour in a day, print it in a day and get it back. You can get a cloth printed for about £2,500. We do things oversized. You know, things become bigger than life. They're not, I say to the artist, don't do it in proportion, because that wee worm in proportion would be tiny. So I say, make everything bigger, make animals and things bigger. A wee bit like Disney would do it, make the animals bigger than life. I think to get the magic of Panto, you've got to make these things look bigger, you know.
As opening night draws closer, it's time for the choreographer, Robert Hamilton, to rehearse Ian's chosen dancers for the first time.
The main thing tonight is to get the kids introduced to each other and get a feel from what these kids are going to be like as a group. They all come from completely different walks of life, and trying to gel that together can be quite hard work. Hello. I think the thing I hate the most is lazy people. It's very difficult to work with children, but it's really difficult to motivate kids if they have a natural laziness within them. 1, 2, 3, 4, out and pop, out and pop. Okay, so not very good. Marco, all you do is go dive, roll, then you just need to do the same as the girls, but you don't need to hit it like that. Smash it to the front. So that happens on 8, girls, this happens on 8. No, don't just do this, girls, look. Out, in, out, 6, 7, 8. Out, in, girls, look. Flick it out. In, out. The work involved putting this together is tremendous. It's huge. There's 25 kids, 4 different groups, 5 reserves. It's a lot. They've got to learn so many different routines. Wait, jump, ha, bomb, bomb, bomb. Guns, head. It's going to be a learning curve for the kids, which will make it a learning curve for myself. So what count do we do this on? 8. Come on, girls, you're here. You need to wake up. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. It's a bit poor because you're not getting tight. I think it's important that the kids are encouraged about being the first rehearsal tonight, but I do think as well at the same time it's really important to lay down a few rules from the beginning so that opening night's not a nightmare.
Day one, Robert tells them what they want, when he wants it, and they will do it. And the kids appreciate it, I think. I think kids nowadays don't have that discipline in walks of life. They don't have it in school as much as they used to, and they don't have it in general terms. So, in something like that, Robert is disciplined from the word go, which is great, because when they come into the theatre, it's fully disciplined. They're as disciplined as the adult dancers, probably more so than the adult dancers.
Back at the prop store, the final touches are being made to the scenery and props for the pantomime.
I'm making the witch's broomstick, making it a wee bit more magical than a standard broomstick. Try to make it light up with these neon things so that it looks a wee bit more mystical when it goes to blackout.
Just watch the drips, Robbie. I'm going to get soaked here, I can feel it. It's working in the waterfall. It should be ready to run any moment now. Well, a couple of wee adjustments. A couple of munchkins with mops will be brand new. Last time we had something like this, it was for, we had the Chippendales at the theatre. We had these showers, and it was barrels on top of the thing that had to be filled out with water. They went in the shower and took the tops off, and girls went crazy. So the boys were instructed, lukewarm water, put it in at the interval, and that's it. So Chippendales were all, every night, first 10 nights, everything was great. I think one of them became a, always happens, one of them became a pain in the backside. So Davey and Laurie, who was the production manager at the time, decided they would get their own back. So instead of hot water in the barrels, it was freezing cold water, and the Chippendales shrunk. The flames are going the wrong way. Right, this is the bottom. Your flames are coming that way. Do you know what I mean? Up to the top.
Aye, that's the cutout. That's the cutout bits.
I know, it's just you've complicated with what you're... Right, okay. I've probably done every job in our theatre, and I think that's probably why that I can hound everybody, because I can do their job if it comes to it. You know, that needs a dry brush of just straight orange over the top once it's finished, you know. Wee bit of red, just straight, you know, very, just to bring the colour out in it. And leave some room outside for green. Yeah, 9 years Robbie's been suffering here.
No, not at all.
Oh,
No,
it
it's
is.
the best.
Trust me, it is. It is. It's bad.
So you're a wee bit of a control freak?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All the time. I ain't going to deny it. Yeah, I'm in control.
He has the charm of a charging rhinoceros.
I know people say he's a monster and all that, but yeah, he can be. He can be really tough and a bully.
Do you want to see the bruises?
If you want to mess, he'll mess with you, and he'll more than mess with you. He'll meet you more than halfway.
When I'm here, I'm in control, and yeah, a pain in the arse at times. But you know, here, we're still here. The pavilion's still here, and I think it's not being big-headed, but if I wasn't a control freak, then I don't know if the pavilion would have survived.
The key to the pavilion's survival is its audience and knowing what they want to see.
It's hard to know what shows are selling out there, to be honest with you. Every show's a gamble. Some of the other theatres have got bigger stages, so we can loss out on some of the bigger shows. But I think we get the better shows.
Here we've got row G for golf, seats 9 and 10.
Yep.
We have a returning audience, so like, obviously all the shows that we get quite a lot of people to come back to see the same shows.
That's what people like as well, because they're always saying that they like that the pavilion's still old style, and they love coming to the building.
It's always feel-good shows. Every show that they do, if you ask any pavilion like punter that walks out, they'll always tell you that it's an amazing show. They've had a fantastic night. You know, they all get up, they sing along, they dance, and it's all kind of stuff that they know, so that they cater like for their audience really well.
It's a nice theatre, this. Very nice, right? And they get great entertainers in here. Even Ken Dodd was in here a while ago, and he's about 82-year-old.
They're better than any audience anywhere in Britain. Well, that means anywhere in the world. They're the most warm-hearted and generous audiences. They're ready to laugh. They want to laugh. They have wonderful chuckle muscles. So they really want to be tickled.
It has an atmosphere. It's the people feel it's their theatre.
Their ownership consists of turning up to see stuff. That's where they're the major shareholders. They come and they see the plays. I have seen plays where people have queued round the block. I don't see that in too many theatres.
I'd like to see Ken Dodd, a legend.
Well, he is a legend, one of the greats.
People don't realise that people like me, they don't pay me any wages. Yeah, now look at that shocked expression there, shocked, horror. No, they don't pay. We always come in on a gamble. You see, you come in and gamble, you get a share of the audience you pull in. I get my share, Ian Gordon gets his share. I think his share's too big, but he does get, he demands his share, believe me.
He is the secret of the current success in the last 20 years of the theatre, and it not being dark. The expression being dark is when it's not being used and it's in darkness. But Ian has done a great job.
I used to say that if it wasn't for Ian Gordon, you wouldn't have a Pavilion Theater. But actually, I think the truth of it is, if it wasn't for Ian Gordon, you wouldn't have light entertainment anymore in Glasgow.
With 6 weeks to go, the choreographers Robert and Lindsay have come into the pavilion to agree on the music for the dance sequences with Ian.
Is this in it? It needs to get that in it.
That's the one that I wanted for the Munchkins.
How long do you want that to be?
I would say we're looking for that to be a couple of minutes, really.
There's loads to do. I mean, this is also the first time that me and Lindsay have choreographed together.
They're quite similar in terms of beat. You could easily put them together with that in the middle.
Working with the children and Lindsay's working with the professionals, to join the two together will be the first time they'll have joined together, the first time we've joined together. It's my first time working with Ian, so there's a lot of first time experiences, which is going to make it a big challenge.
Fairy comes on and goes blah blah blah, spell.
So when she does the spell and everybody appears, you just want it full pelt. I think for something to be successful, there has to be a main person to keep track of the story plot and the visual. I think that's what's good about Ian, that he's very strong on what he wants and makes everybody stick to the story plot, and I think that's what's going to make it successful.
And what's left to do, is it there?
Write the script.
No, I've not seen the script yet. Probably don't really get to see it till maybe a week before it if we're lucky.
I'm sure we'll get it in the next couple of days.
As far as I'm aware, we get our scripts 3 weeks before rehearsals start.
As yet, we haven't got the script for the Panto.
You could give them it a year early and they still won't look at it until about 2 days before they open. I tend to look at a Panto and I say, what is my audience, first of all? My audience is anything from 5 years old to 95 years old. So you've got to cast something for everybody. Shaban is younger, the kids know her. Johnny Mac is probably the 35 to 40-year-old mark. The older audience remember Jimmy when he played a young boy in High Road. So I think the secret is getting something in for all ages, and that's why they're all in there. They're all in there for a specific reason.
A big part of any pantomime is the music. Today, Ian is going through the script with the band.
They'll just go, hey, Munchkin, and do more of the dancing. We'll just prance about.
It's going into the bum thing.
Yeah. So we're just waiting for one other person, who's usually late. We'll get him to come in and out the door about 4 times. We'll tell him the first time he's not smiling enough. Then we'll tell him he's smiling too much. Then we'll just tell him he's a fat Sorry. Yeah. Bob, come in. Could you do that again? We're filming this.
All right, okay.
Could you just open the door? Right, the thing, and then just kind of, oh, how you doing, boys? Right, but how do you? Stand by. Action.
Hello.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Right.
Nice to see you, guys.
Was that all right, or do you want to? No, I think we'll need it again. Too cheery. No, too cheery. Right, stand by, and action.
Hi guys. How you doing? How you doing? Right?
You're late. He goes into the pit in November and comes out 5 stone in January. What he does is he feeds himself up in it, so he's got plenty of stamina. First one's Over the Rainbow. There's a video sequence that goes along with this. Next on that page is the River City play on for Strawsuit Bob. Let me look into my crystal ball. That thing that you've got, Ray. Ooh, you know, next page. Just tell me if I'm going too fast. I do a wee thing here with Michelle McManus, where she goes, what does Glinda like or something, and they say a glass of wine and a fish supper. and she never appears. And then she really shouts, "A glass of wine at first supper," and she appears. Poof, yeah.
She'll be a wonderful fairy. Can you just see her? She will give it. She's going to give it. I just know she will.
As a little girl, Dorothy Paul had to be my idol.
I'm glad if I have in any way sort of inspired her, then that's what the older professionals are for. We should all be doing that.
I had never heard anyone famous with a Scottish accent.
Look at the state of me. A cheeky so-and-so there says, "Are you making your first Holy Communion?"
And I couldn't believe that someone like with a Scottish accent that spoke like me could be so famous. And if you look at the Mrs Brown's Boys as well, that was in the Pavilion years and years before it ever got picked up for telly.
I literally walked in off the street to this little bald poison dwarf and said, "Look, I've got this show and I think if you can give it a go, I'll take $1 million at the box office." The week before we opened, for the first time, panic stations, because he rang me on the Wednesday. We were opening the following Tuesday. He rang me on the Wednesday and said, "This isn't selling. I mean, there's no sales. We've got about 80 for the first night and about 70 for the second night." So I said, "Well, do a 2 for 1 and comp it out." And we did. And then on a Wednesday, about lunchtime, he rang me and said to me, "Just to let you know, we're going to do 20,000 at the box office today." And it was a hit. And thus began a beautiful relationship.
Mrs Brown did more bringing people to theatre than any show that I've ever done in my whole life. Mrs Brown's a phenomenon.
When we had the TV series and it was a hit, and all of a sudden it was the #1 show and everybody was talking about Mrs Brown, Mrs Brown, Mrs Brown, Mrs Brown, we came back and we played the Pavilion. Because A, that's where we started, and B, we owed them. We owed them big time.
So after weeks of preparation, Ian arrives to rehearse the cast for the first time.
I've got the biscuits. That's the only thing that's important. No script, no anything, just the biscuits. Nice to see Lindsay early. This is the first time I've ever seen Lindsay early. We're off to see the wizard. First day of school, you're on.
All right, how you doing, all right?
You all right? Oh, yes, you better believe it, yes.
You know your script?
Easy, mate, easy.
I think the words were familiarise yourself with the script, and I have familiarised myself with it. It's a wee bit weird for me because I'm the newbie, they all know each other. Access denied. Well, I guess I'm not going to get to know the cast then.
Well, this place is busy this morning, eh? They're all here for us, you see. Get ready for the pantomime. See you later.
Oh, don't do an Annika wrestle on me and get the bum shot. It's not very Christmassy, is it? Terrifying people with my bum.
This is what's called bonding together. Bonding together.
I'm genuinely nervous this morning, first day of it all.
I heard you in the radio.
This is Susie, stage management. This is Iona, wardrobe. I'm Ian. I'm the boss.
What's that? What's that?
It's what we call a script in the business.
Everybody turn their phones off. First thing, yeah? Phones all off. Put them back on again in 2 weeks on Friday.
As Ian lays down the law with the cast, next door, Robert and Lindsay start work with the professional dancers.
How's the dance department today?
We're very well, thank you. Been working really hard. It's looking good. So, singing stuff.
Come on, everybody.
Come on, everybody, this is not Emmerdale. We've no time for singing or dancing or standing down the pub. You lot have got put down even to shift.
Come on, you lot. Just be busy on it, you know.
Right, okay.
Come on, you lot. You've got whatever, blah, blah. You've got dung to shift. Poo. Right? Dorothy! Dorothy, where are you? And you'll meet her.
See, where are they useless farmhands of mine? Here I am. Na, 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 na. Don't sing the song.
Nothing like that.
Will you stop singing that song?
The song goes na 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 na. I'll get you the song.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Boy needs to make it look like he's leading the girl. Bam, 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 and had a look at her and drop.
I'll just walk straight
That's it.
up
Chester,
to her
take your time with it.
and say...
It's nearly, you're nearly having the lion's roar
character,
there
yeah.
to get what you're the lion later on. I'll just walk up to her and I'll say...
I'll just walk up to her and say, "So, you think you can steal my wee Toto away?"
Dorothy! Get panic.
Well, get out and dug away!
You are nae use here. You've got nae courage.
Just throw him back up.
That's it. Go on, Monday. And back then. Aye, well, you say I've nae brain, but I can think, and I think things might not be as bad as what you think. That's what I think, and I think I'm right about what I think. What do you think?
You're no piety.
That's quick. You're not paid to think.
Piety think. Dorothy, you see, they say I've got no courage, but you've got courage. And somewhere over that rainbow, your dreams will all come true.
Okay. Wonderful.
Right, see you 2 weeks in Wednesday.
Call Dean Park's agent. Get rid of him.
It's like your first day at school, again. That's what it's like. My friend Michelle. We share a pencil case.
We're going to have to hold hands and we go to the playground, go to the toilet and stuff. Oh no, I've not done my nails. Hands are in there.
Having a nightmare here.
They're always about the same at this stage. It's just a building stage at this stage. You know, you just build it up in sections. So you put it all together, music, costumes, scenery, and all the rest of it. This is only a small part of it.
First scene's been well, man. Aye, we've got through it, no mess up, no lines, everything's been good, man. Just you're only good downhill for your own end,
Exactly.
As with previous years, the success of this year's Panto is critical to the Pavilion. Unlike other Glasgow theatres, it's not a registered charity, council-owned, or part of a large entertainment group. And so far, Ian has been unsuccessful in applying for any grants or subsidies.
I see every other venue in Glasgow getting funded. Some to the tune of £10 million a year.
I don't know where they spend their money, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, our box office pays the bills. The customers pay the bills.
Most theatres are subsidised for failure. You will get a 6-week rehearsal period now. If you blow it, who cares? You get a bad crit in the Herald and that's it. Nobody bothers. Nobody loses their job, the theatre doesn't close. Here, if they get it badly wrong, too many times, the theatre would have closed.
I get angry. When somebody asks me, yeah, I get angry. But I forget about it within half an hour and move on to something else. But it would be nice to get funded. We could maybe do something within the auditorium. We could do it with spending 2 months next summer scaffolding it and do the ceiling. Yeah, because you're keeping the fabric of the building for years to come in Glasgow. But they'll never come round to giving the Pavilion anything. Never.
It's the end of the first week of rehearsals, and Ian turns his attention to the singers.
Think that I'd come running back. Maybe you don't know me because you're dead wrong. What doesn't kill you makes you strong. I can't get there. It's far too high.
Oh, is that right? Okay. So you take it down.
Michelle will give you a wee.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Is that still too high? And it has some range in that song, I have to say. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. See if you record it on your iPhone, I'll sing that verse so you've got it at home so you know that it goes up.
So it's, you know
the bed feels warmer, sleeping here alone.
Doesn't kill you makes
The theatre's very tight at the moment. Like all businesses at the moment, theatre's suffering. There's some lean months throughout the year, so Panto keeps you going from that. It funds other things. Refurbishing the seats, putting new carpet in, doing the dressing rooms, making the place a bit better stage by stage. So yeah, Panto funds everything.
Underscore it underneath you, the dialogue, and give you a definite.
Johnny, you're fine with yeah.
Oh, I think we should hear it.
Yeah. No, in fact, I think we should see that and hear it.
Oh, let's hear it.
Come on, Johnny.
feels good.
If ever there was a Wizard of Oz, there's one because of the wonderful things he does.
The cast are just come in this week. I mean, I've done a full first half of the show in less than a week.
You gave me the will to carry on. No, we've come a long,
And they've just been, I think there's just been so much energy with the new people in the cast coming into this production that I've just energised the old ones that were here. So we've went out the door yesterday thinking, God, at 4 o'clock yesterday, we've said, that's great, we're ready to go. And we could have put Act 1 on the stage yesterday. And that's unusual. So let's hope next week's the same.
no, this time.
With time running out to opening night, Ian moves the rehearsals onto the stage of the pavilion.
I've not done anything like this with the cast.
We've done it in the rehearsal room, we've just never done it on the stage.
Right, okay, right. We'll run the track and then we'll stop and start, yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
What's today about, Ian?
About getting the cast onto the set. First time they've really seen it, Act 2. So it's getting them all, going through all the safety stuff with them and letting them run it and letting them see what comes alive from the rehearsal room to here, because it completely changes it. Also lets the crew see when there's cast about now, you know, see what works and what doesn't work. Then we panic.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I grab that hand. 7, 8. Then I come into you.
Should we start like this, Lynn?
Sing it for me.
Okay, we all ready? Yeah. Okay, here we go, folks.
Right, here we go.
It's always a good time. We don't even have to try. It's always a good time.
Applause, applause, applause. In positions. Always a good time. Big finish. Yay!
We're sharing the dressing room. We got to try to get to
Really bad with
It's
it.
a good guy.
Are you to share?
Yeah.
Aye.
Oh.
We asked for it. It was in my contract. I asked for it.
Biggest thing ever.
Golden
This was
handcuffs.
very cool.
You know what I mean?
Your dress looks amazing this year.
Oh, does it look good?
I think it's me that looks amazing, possibly
the way
not
you're
the
wearing it,
dress.
darling.
I think it's the way I'm wearing it.
Today's not just about song and dance. There are also safety issues for the cast to consider.
There's a pyro step behind it, if you know what I mean. So pyro and yeah, because we'll have to check that you're nowhere near it before we fire it. So that's
No
just
problem at all.
So that's a nice wee poof.
Let's get to Emerald City. We've no got 40 go now.
You're on the road to nowhere. You've gone far enough. Well, thank you all very much for blowing away the poison for the field of poppies, but your pathetic huffing has been all in vain, because I've still got some here.
Here, is that a poker chips you've got?
Poppies! Snuffity, snuffity, snuff! Get it right up your beaks!
Boom.
I say it's a poker chips. How did I mistake that for a poker chip?
Joyce, you saw that there? Aye. There's a big bit of white tape running about it. Everybody needs to watch these pyros. You shouldn't be anywhere near these corners. Okay. Right.
The band for the panto aren't in view of the stage. In actual fact, they're set up right underneath it.
They've forgotten threesome down here. Everybody, do we feel detached from the panto? Camera in the circle, I think it's fed down to that monitor over there, which we can see everything that's going on in the stage.
Step out the road, let the dogs see the rabbit.
Dean has got 3 rings there. Dean's noise wants to be the loudest at the start. Wants to be a really big dong. And then Shabans was meant to be ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, because she was a girl. And then Tin Man was supposed to sound like an empty oil can. Seeing he's a Tin Man.
But it says bell out of order, please not.
Yeah, no, but that's the funny bit about it. That's what's funny. That's another bell. No, that's a snare drum. Here, he's doing it again. No, it's... See that wee effects pad you've got in front of you? With 3 million different effects on it.
Yeah, I'll do that now.
This is the time when you start to doubt yourself if you ever told anybody anything. When you have to repeat yourself.